doing no fake laughing. Listen, man, I gotta give a shout out to the Keep the Vision chat, man. Y'all have been telling me for months the WNBA owners should send new CBA proposals offering.
That reaction tells you everything you need to know about what's happening right now. Those aren't tears of celebration rolling down their cheeks. Those are tears of complete vindication, because what was just revealed could dramatically alter the financial landscape of the WNBA. And believe me, a lot of players may soon realize that their own union leadership hasn't exactly been looking out for them the way they thought.
Y'all comments, and I was like, I feel like y'all just being mean. But y'all was being right. Y'all was being real. This is crazy. This is crazy. WNBA owners. Shout out to Annie Scoops, Annie Constable. We're going to have to get into her article where it shows that there's a group of WNBA players who are going to be making substantially less money in the CBA offer. And if you think things like this Angel Reese huge return that has turned into an embarrassment for business and ratings doesn't play a part, you've lost.
The owners have just pulled off a strategic maneuver that almost nobody anticipated. And the truth is, it's likely to impact the league's middle-class players more than anyone expected. We're looking at a major shift in how league money could be allocated. The consequences could be enormous, especially for the players who aren't superstar names.
Angel Reese unrivaled debut versus the High brought in 130,000 viewers. Now, the real number that you pay attention to is right here. It was 40,000 viewers, okay? In that age group of people you want to attract and people that you keep watching, not people that turn away from it and all that stuff. 40,000 views, not good, not good. So you guys have marketed Paige Beckers, okay? Now this is for the, it's not one person, it's all of us crowd. This is for the, it's everybody crowd, right?
You have stars like Brianna Stewart at the center of this conversation, but here's what actually happened. Credit goes to Annie Costabile of Front Office Sports for uncovering the story after releasing leaked details from the WNBA's latest CBA proposal. Once you examine the figures closely, the numbers paint a very concerning picture. The league is proposing a supermax salary worth $1.13 million.
You got everybody over there. Everybody's over there, right? You marketed Paige Beckers as this big star. She did a whopping 30,000 viewers. You got the big Angel Reese return, 40,000 viewers. I mean, come on. All you guys are doing is showing how much the WNBA is on the back of one star, and that person's name is Caitlin Clark. That person's name is Caitlin Clark. Every time another one of y'all stars report the unrivaled and nobody watches, it just goes to prove the point that that league, the WNBA, is not as full of stars.
On the surface, that sounds like a huge win. After all, we're talking about the possibility of the first $1 million player in WNBA history, a milestone that would generate positive headlines everywhere. But there's a major catch that isn't getting enough attention. That supermax contract would consume an incredible 20% of a team's Once you add in the mandatory rookie scale contracts that every team must carry, there isn't much financial flexibility left for the rest of the roster. The biggest stars will receive massive paydays. Top draft picks will get their guaranteed rookie money. But veteran role players, the athletes who provide...
Whenever the WNBA and the Players Union are done at the negotiating table and basketball returns, the league will likely have its first $1 million player, okay? I want to get to the main part. Here it says, now the WNBA is offering Supermax base salary of roughly $1.13 million or 20% of the proposed $5.65 million salary cap in year one. But sources have said the seven-figure payday for some,
the elite players, stand to benefit the most. But before diving deeper into the financial details of this proposal, we need to discuss something that may have given owners even more negotiating power. That brings us to Angel Reese's highly anticipated return in the unrivaled league. This was promoted as a major moment for women's basketball and something that was expected to move the sport forward in a significant way.
Similar to the current CBA, according to one source familiar with negotiations, the Supermax would account for 20% of the salary cap. So one player is going to be responsible for 20% of the salary cap. Now imagine if you got two of them. That's nearly half the money gone, and you got 10, 11 other people that got to get paid. It ain't that much. All right. Make sure you follow it. Make sure you follow me on this walk. The Supermax would account for 20% of the salary, and the standard max would roughly, and the standard max roughly 988,750, 988,000, whatever, would take up to 17.5%. Unlike the current CBA, players would not be eligible to earn the Supermax through a sign and trade deal. The Supermax in 2025 was 249,000. The standard was 214. Here it says the average league salary.
4 weeks, the league heavily promoted the event, investing substantial resources while presenting Reese as one of the key faces capable of leading women's basketball into a new era. However, when the debut finally arrived, it attracted just 130,000 total viewers. While that number may not look terrible for a niche sports product, the more important figure lies within the critical 18 to 49 demographic. The audience advertisers are willing to pay premium rates to reach.
Of teams like Phoenix Mercury, Atlanta Dream, the Lynx, Liberty were contingent on the sacrifice of star players. But if 20% of the salary cap is embarked for Supermax players, that sacrifice will be even more drastic. A similar pay cut taken by Wilson under the new system would amount to $226,000 less per year, and with or without discounts from star players, serious gymnastics would be required to build a competitive roster, right? And here we get to the part where these other players are gonna take a major hit, okay? Here it says, in addition to the salary cap allotted to Supermax and Max players, the percentage going to rookie scale contracts will increase under the proposal, all right? This equates to 9.6% under the previous CBA. Last season, the minimum for players with less than 3 years of experience was 4.4% of the cap. The veteran minimum was 5.2% of the cap. Under the league's current proposal, that's a lot of, we'll need that. Okay, the proposed new CBA then squeezes it in at least two gaps: the league's middle class and GMs trying to build deep teams, right? For example, if the Fever paid Kelsey Mitchell $1.13 million Supermax and spent the combined $1 million on Boston and Clark's mandated rookie scale contracts, that will leave roughly $3.4 million to spend on 9 more roster spots, including newly drafted players. This equates to roughly $382,000 or 6.7% of the cap per player. And that's if Indiana has one max player on its roster. This is almost $100,000 less than the proposed average.
One of the most recognizable names in women's basketball right now, Angel Reese, attracted only around 40,000 viewers in that crucial demographic. In the television business, where ratings directly influence advertising revenue, those figures are alarmingly low for an athlete being promoted as a franchise-changing superstar. And this isn't just about Angel Reese. Paige Buchers, often described as the next transformational talent in the sport, managed only about 30,000 viewers in that same audience category. Meanwhile, established stars like Breanna Stewart, Kelsey Mitchell, and many other prominent WNBA players participated in Unrivaled, yet the viewership numbers remained consistently disappointing. Each time another highly promoted star makes an appearance and the audience fails to show up, it reinforces the same message to executives and investors. From a ratings standpoint, the league currently appears to revolve around a single player, and that player is Caitlin Clark. Despite repeated claims about the league's depth of star power, the ratings suggest a different reality. Those disappointing numbers have provided team owners with a powerful argument during labor negotiations. Now let's examine the proposal itself, because the details are extremely important. The WNBA is proposing a team salary cap of $5.65 million in the first year of the new agreement, while the Players Association is pushing for approximately $9.5 million. That's an enormous difference. What makes the proposal even more intriguing is the contract structure hidden within the details. The proposed Supermax salary sits at $1.13 million and consumes exactly 20% of a team's salary cap. Meanwhile, the standard max contract, valued at roughly $988,000, would account for another 17.5%. That means a roster featuring just one Supermax player and one standard max player would already devote 37.5% of its payroll to only two athletes. Once rookie-scale contracts are included, the financial pressure becomes even greater. Under the proposed agreement, rookies would take up a larger percentage of team cap space than they did previously, reducing flexibility even further. Take the Indiana Fever as an example. If they awarded a $1.13 million Supermax deal to Kelsey Mitchell while also committing roughly $1 million combined to Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston through rookie-scale contracts, they would already have about $2.13 million invested in just 3 players. With a $5.65 million cap, that leaves around $3.4 million to fill 9 additional roster spots. On average, that's only about $382,000 per player, significantly below the average salary figure being promoted. When you actually run the numbers, the available flexibility disappears surprisingly fast. And that's with only one max-level contract on the roster. Consider a talent-loaded team like the Las Vegas Aces. If Aya Wilson receives a Supermax deal and another star such as Kelsey Plum commands a standard max contract, the organization would already be spending well over $2 million before accounting for players like Chelsea Gray or Jackie Young. Under that scenario, retaining depth becomes extremely difficult unless veteran contributors agree to substantial pay reductions. The situation becomes even more striking when viewed historically. Aya Wilson has previously accepted less than her maximum eligible salary to help her team remain competitive. If she followed a similar approach under this new framework, she could potentially leave hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table annually. While elite players often make sacrifices in pursuit of championships, this proposed system may require even larger compromises. At that point, a difficult question emerges. Why should superstar players consistently sacrifice earnings to support roster balance when a different salary structure could potentially distribute resources more evenly? What may concern middle-tier players most is that reports suggest union leadership is not necessarily opposed to this framework. According to reports, the union may support a salary structure that allocates a similar percentage of cap space toward maximum contracts. That creates a situation where the individuals negotiating the agreement are often the same elite players who stand to benefit most from those lucrative deals. For months, many observers predicted owners would take a patient approach during negotiations, gradually increasing pressure while players faced financial realities. That appears to be playing out. With median WNBA salaries historically far below those in other major professional leagues, many players cannot easily withstand a prolonged work stoppage. Superstars with major endorsement agreements can weather uncertainty, but role players often rely heavily on their playing salaries. At the same time, disappointing ratings from